Zar nije rekao Resulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, tako mi onoga u čijoj ruci moja duša, čovjek neće vjerovati sve dok ne bude svome bratu želio od dobra ono što želi i samome sebi. Još je rekao Allahu poslanik sallallahu alaihi wasallam, primjer vjernika u međusobnoj ljubavi, saosjećajnosti i samilosti jeste kao primjer jednog tijela. Kada oboli jedan njegov organ, ostatak tijela se solidariše i pridruži mu se u nesanici i temperaturi.
ثم قست قلوبكم من بعد ذلك فهي كالحجارة أو أشد قسوة وإن من الحجارة لما يتفجر منه الأنهار وإن منها لما يشقق فيخرج منه الماء وإن منها لما يهبط من خشية الله وما الله بغافل عما تعملون.
In the middle of a famine, the sickest of the sick come here, like Ahmed. He's 6 years old and he's just spent 10 days walking under the East Africa sun. His tiny, prone body robbed of nutrition for too long. His doctor can only hope he arrived in time.
What happens to a child like this if you weren't here, if he wasn't at this facility?
This child, probably in a few weeks or so, will have lost his child.
You would lose his child?
Will lose his child.
You know, when the doctor talks about death by starvation, I can tell you it's neither quick nor it's painless. When you come to a place like this, you see it just about everywhere. You can hear it sometimes as well. You can also smell it. It's in the air. It's this acrid sweetness that is a reflection of the body literally starting to digest itself.
Little kids like Ahmed simply stop growing. They become stunted in time. And the tools to save him are basic. It's not like they have much choice, but they do work. Ahmed was one of the estimated 600,000 kids on the brink of death by starvation.
They don't even have enough money to bury him. So they're just sitting here hoping that someone will come and someone, and you know, in this situation nobody has any money, but they're hoping that together people try and put money in together when things like this happen and they can raise the funds, otherwise they have no means of burying him.
Mohammed and Rugia have already lost their 2 other children. Ali was the only child they had left.
They left everything in the areas they've come from, and they have nothing here. The only reason they took that risk was to save the baby, and now the baby's dead. The UN's estimating that nearly 1 million are going to die if the aid pipeline isn't strengthened, if more funding doesn't come in to sustain the aid effort here.
The aid effort is underway, but for too many kids, it may already be too late. They are not numbers, not statistics. They're boys and girls with names and with parents.
Her name is Noor. Aged 18 months old, she's thirsty and desperately hungry. Her mother has travelled with her for days to get here. Inside Wajir Hospital, almost every child is suffering from malnutrition. It hasn't rained heavily here within any of their lifetimes. Some are very tiny and frail. Others are bloated, their skin peeled away by their condition and in need of help.
They really need it urgently. It's a matter of urgency, and some of them they cannot even wait for a second.
Kada ćemo se pokrenuti i zaista pomoći svako prema svojim mogućnostima?
There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is love. And this place could be much brighter than tomorrow. And if you really try, you'll find there's no need to cry. In this place you'll feel there's no hurt or sorrow. There are ways to get there. If you care enough for the living, make a little space to make a better place. Heal the world, make it a better place. For you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. Yes, heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. You and for me. Heal the world we live in. Save it for our children. Heal the world we live in. Save it for our children. Heal the world.